The best thing about living in Switzerland is a long weekend away from Switzerland. Switzerland is centrally located in the middle of Europe. Germany, France, Austria, and Italy all border Switzerland, so road trip is quite fun. Today we are doing Black Forest of Germany. We are going to two towns, Heidelberg and Baden-Baden. In this episode, we'll show you the famous castle, historic old towns in both cities, casino, and the Roman bathhouse, bathing like kings and queens in the past. Locals and out-of-towners alike go cuckoo for Germany's southwest corner, famous for its mineral spas, clean air, and hiking trails. The region's darkly thick forests were formidable for ancient Romans. Today, the Black Forest is primarily a relaxing getaway for overworked Germans. It's the end of May, the beginning of summer, so the weather is just perfect. Not too hot, but comfortable enough to just walk around with just t-shirt. Driving from Switzerland to Black Forest region takes about 3 hours. Crossing the border was hassle-free for us. This is a Swiss border, and this is a German border. Nobody's checking anything. It's not much different in Germany from where we live, Zurich. Maybe the color of street signs is a little different, but the language is the same, which is German. Our first destination is Hohenzollern Castle. We found a perfect area for a little picnic behind the back of the castle. Luckily, I made Dennis' favorite noodle. Hohenzollern Castle is one of the most beautiful castles in Germany, standing on the hilltop overlooking the land around it. This castle is definitely an architectural masterpiece. The ancestral home of the Prussian kings has not been a residence for centuries, but it is a beautiful reminder of the family who once controlled Germany. 1,000 years ago, the family which would eventually rule this part of Germany, and then the whole country established their home here. If it feels a bit like a museum, I guess that is because it is. Hohenzollern Castle has not been a permanent residence for hundreds of years. No family member of Hohenzollern was living here for a long term, so this is kind of like a weekend house. The family moved to Berlin to take their place in the leadership of the German Empire and just never came back. You see, power is very important. Outside, you will see all the famous members of the family. The best place to view Hohenzollern Castle is Zeller Horn, which is another hilltop with the same height looking at Hohenzollern. It is about 1 hour hike up and down from Hohenzollern. I think the view is totally worth it. Wow, look at this Instagram-worthy shot. We can go home now. Talking about driving, if you've been to Germany before, you know that some parts of the highway has no speed limit. Look at how fast Dennis was going. Oh my god. He's like flooring it. We spent the 2 nights in a very cute bed and breakfast. The next day we are going to town, Heidelberg. Our first stop is yet another castle, Schloss Heidelberg. The romantic ruins of Heidelberg Castle have been one of the most famous sites in Europe and the magnet for millions of visitors all over the world since 19th century. Even the backdrop of the castle ruins, overgrown with ivy, tells a grandeur of its former inhabitants, the Wittelsbach family. On the back of the castle, there is a huge balcony overlooking the entire city. In a cellar under the Heidelberg Castle, there is a gigantic wooden cake. It is the world's largest wine barrel. No, this is my kind of dungeon, full of alcohol. There is a cafe so you can try the local specialties. At this castle, you can also experience pharmacy and its history from antiquity to the present day. This is the world's most extensive and high-quality collection on the history of pharmacy. Now, this is the best part of Heidelberg for me, the park at the castle, which is free and huge. You can see most of the city from here, including the famous bridge Alte Brucke, Heidelberg. During this time of the year, the linden tree is blooming, making it even more magical with its fragrance all over, reminding me in the jasmine garden back home in Thailand. But the view is really good indeed, right? After the castle, we came down to the old town, seeing where the real people live. Marktplatz is the center of the town with many shops and cafes. A couple of steps away is the famous old bridge of Heidelberg, the iconic pedestrian bridge constructed in 1788, offering scenic views and city landmarks. If you stroll through the old town of Heidelberg, you cannot miss Hauptstrasse, because the street runs completely from one end of the old town to another, and is thus, with the length of approximately 1.8 kilometers, one of the longest, most used, and above all oldest pedestrian zones in Europe. About an hour drive from Heidelberg is Baden-Baden. Who knew that the fancy German town is just a couple of hours away from Zurich? When I say fancy, because this town has Hermes shop. Yes, that's my gauge. This town also has casino and Roman bathhouse. I guess it's that kind of town where the rich comes a lot. The town center is full of shops and restaurants, so your choice for splurging yourself is endless. You had to walk up a little bit to see the city hall and the town center. There is a Catholic church built since the year 987. The stained glasses bridge the gap between the earthly and the divine. Very, very beautiful. Walking down to the most beautiful part of the town, where casino, music hall, and the spa house. It is in a big public space and park. The courthouse, Baden-Baden, is architectural masterpiece of this town. The International World Heritage Committee inscribed the great spa towns of Europe. It is the UNESCO's World Heritage Site. Inside, there is a beautiful casino and the venue for events. Clearly, I have no idea what I was doing. My 5-year-olds went by so quickly. It wasn't even 5 minutes. Oh my god. After having 5 euro less, we explored the town a little more. This town is very, very picturesque and very green. You see trees, especially this time of the year, all over. There are parks and public space, manicured and maintained very well. Baden-Baden was founded by the Romans more than 2,000 years ago, and this town has hot springs all over, so a perfect place for having a bathhouse. Bathhouses were an important meeting place for relaxation and socializing, and luxury baths were built for the emperors. Friedrichsbad is a must visit when you come to this town. My best memory is here. I can only show you the entrance area because it's all nude inside. Both boys and girls are all naked inside together. I know, that's how German does it. The Merkur mountain should also be on your list for Baden-Baden. You can take the traditional funicular railroad up. This is the longest of its kind in Germany. There are these purple flowers everywhere. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I don't know what it's called. The mountain delights with breathtaking views. You can eat, hike, and just enjoy the day up here. All in all, we had a great time visiting this Black Forest of Germany. There are many things to do and see, and the big surprise is that it's not far from Zurich at all. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the content of this channel and want to support us. I'll see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen!